lemon or orange blender pies.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Hello everyone, starting off with a large lemon. You're just going to trim the ends, and I actually washed this lemon prior to as well. Then slice it into wedges. I found this recipe on Facebook, and I've always been intrigued by unusual baking recipes, and this one certainly fit the bill. Once your lemon is sliced into wedges, make sure there are no seeds or remove the seeds that are there, and strangely enough, this lemon didn't have a single seed in it. Then place those lemon wedges, peel and all, into a blender. Then add 1 1/4 cups of white granulated sugar, 4 large eggs, and a half a cup of butter that's been melted. And then you just blend it. The recipe says to blend it until it's mostly smooth. Now I decided to add a couple of drops of yellow food color to this just to intensify the color a little bit, but that is completely optional, and it would taste exactly the same obviously without it. Then once that's blended, you're going to pour it into an unbaked pie shell. And this is a 9-inch pie shell, and this is just one of the ones that was bought at the grocery store, those ones in the freezer section. Pour that in there and then put this pie in the oven at 350 degrees for about 45 minutes until the center is set. Now, these frozen pie shells are in a kind of a flimsy aluminum pie pan that will flex a little bit when you move it. So I recommend that before you fill your pie, put the whole thing onto a cookie sheet. It'll just be a lot easier to transfer into the oven. And be careful, it's really runny and you might make a mess. And I might be speaking from experience here. You never know. And while that was baking, I said, you know what? I wonder if this would work with oranges. So I had some clementine oranges in my refrigerator, and what I did is I weighed one of the lemons that I had, and it was about that large lemon was about 2 ounces. So I just grabbed 2.5 clementine oranges, which was about the same weight as that lemon. And then I sliced the clementine oranges up into pieces, and these don't have seeds either, so I didn't have to pick those out. So I put those orange pieces in the blender, and the same process. I added some white sugar, some eggs, and some melted butter. And again, I added a couple of drops of orange food coloring to this just to make the color a little bit brighter. And then I blended it up. And this one I blended quite a bit to make sure that there were no chunks left of orange in there. And then the same idea, poured it into a pie shell and put it in the oven to bake. Same amount of time as the lemon. Once your pies are baked, let them cool to room temperature and then put them in the refrigerator to chill completely. If they are chilled thoroughly, they will slice up a lot better and they'll firm up quite a bit. Then before serving, you add a little bit of powdered sugar. So that was the lemon one. This one here is the orange one. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like when you slice them up. Of course, the first pie slice is always the hardest one to get out of the pan. And there it is. I'm going to slice into the lemon one to show you what the texture is. And as you can see, it's very creamy. It's kind of like lemon meringue pie texture, if you can imagine that. And here is the orange one. You can see the texture's a little bit different. It's still creamy, but it's a bit spongier than the lemon one. Okay, now let's talk flavor here. The lemon piece had a very intense lemon flavor. That was okay. The problem with that one was that because there's lemon peel in there, you're getting little tiny pieces of lemon peel that had a very, very bitter flavor to it. And your little bits of lemon peel that when you ate this pie, they kind of got left behind and they get stuck in your teeth. And it was just way too bitter. And although the flavor was okay, there's no way you could get through a whole piece of this with that lemon peel in it. So that one went in the garbage. The orange one had a very delicate lemon flavor, but in my opinion tasted a little bit too eggy. I think if I were to make that one again, I would add some orange extract to it to help with the flavor. But I wasn't ready to give up quite yet because I actually really thought the texture of that lemon pie was amazing considering how easy it was to put together. So I thought I would try it again, but this time I would peel the lemon first. So that's what I did. I peeled another lemon, cut it up into pieces, and then I did exactly the same thing. Again, put it in the blender without the peel, some sugar, the 4 eggs, and half a cup of melted butter. And then I blended that up, but this time I blended it a little bit longer to make sure that it was very smooth. And I also added in a little bit of yellow food color, a couple of drops, just to intensify that color a little bit. But again, that's completely optional. Now this pie shell was a different brand than the original pie shell for the other lemon pie that I made. And I think it was a little bit shallower because I just poured it all in all at once because I thought it would fit perfectly. But it didn't. It poured over the edge a little bit, so I had to scoop some of it out before I baked it. Anyway, here's the final result. That's the original orange. This is that new lemon without the peel. You can see it's a little bit smaller in height because of there's less volume, I guess, because of the lemon peels missing. The texture is the same and the flavor is delicious. Lovely, lovely lemon flavor. Lemon meringue, creamy kind of a texture, no bitterness. So this one was a winner, and it is so fast and easy to put together, especially if you use a pre-made pie shell. You can make a dessert in no time flat. And if you're a lemon lover, you will enjoy this one. I hope you give it a try. If you love the flavor of orange, you will love this orange meringue pie that I've made before. This one is a winner and is a lot better than this blender orange one that I just made. So if you want to see this one, click on your screen, and you also see my pie playlist, which has a whole bunch of other different pies on it. Thanks for watching.